When did you find acceptance that he'd gone, that you'd lost him? Because obviously in those early days there was nothing but hope, you know. When did you decide that hope had gone?
I think we're still holding on to it a little bit.
Yeah, we're still holding on a little bit.
Are you a little bit still?
A little bit. Obviously, we do know he's gone.
Yes.
But we want him back.
Of course.
So I think until we sort of like know that we won't be able to get him back, that will probably be when we can say he's gone.
Have complete acceptance, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the minute, we know that he is dead. We do know that.
Yes.
Yeah. But
we just
want him home.
Of course you do.
You must be of an enormous strength to each other. I've been watching you, actually.
Yeah, we're a very close family.
Yeah.
And I'm quite privileged to have my children still at home with me and supporting me. We were a good unit together, and that's another reason why we're doing this, because of David. He's been a brilliant husband. He's supported us all.
It's not that you've been through something, you're going through something. And I thought, well, they can only do it if they're keeping it together,
Yeah.
and that seems to be it as
definitely.
a family. Yeah.
And we just want to know that, you know, we can't leave him out there on his own, you know.
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. We feel like he's just out there on his own at the moment. And until we've tried to do everything we can, this is why we've done the appeal, you know, just for some help.
Yeah,
What was it
guide
like?
us.
What was it like for you hearing the news that something had gone wrong? And, of course, Emiliano Sala is very famous. And a lot of people that are supporters of football and of him. And in the midst of that, you have the biggest personal tragedy that you're dealing with. How did you hear that something was going wrong? How did it come about for you?
Well, it was when the police let us know, didn't they, about you know, we all then had to go home and, you know, be told, which was you never want.
No.
And I was sat there ringing my dad, you know.
What, you're calling him on his mobile?
Yeah, as if it's not my dad, you know.
So difficult. What was he like about the trip? Because there have been comments about the fact that he made this joke on Facebook, didn't he? Saying, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit rusty about landing procedures."
That's just Dave. It's like when you go on holiday, you know, for 2 or 3 weeks, you come back, you get in your car because you haven't driven for a few days. You think, oh.
Yes.
You know, it's that, which I think we've all done it, I have, and that was just Dave.
I suppose the problem here is that when nobody knows what happened, and nobody knows what happened, nobody has a clue why that plane came down. Tiny fragments like that joke that he made, oh, I'm feeling a bit rusty, which actually, had he really been feeling rusty, he probably wouldn't have said. It was banter. Those things get seized on, don't they?
Yeah.
And the question of his status as a pilot and his qualifications and his licence and all the rest of it. But as far as you're concerned, and you know, he was fully qualified and licensed to make that flight and to carry that passenger.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Clear up, I think, the confusion, because I think somebody actually put that he was an amateur, a keen amateur pilot. What is it, the difference between the private licence and the fact people saying he didn't have a commercial licence? Because none of us are flying experts, you know. I think people are reading things into that.
Yeah. He had his private licence, so he was able to carry passengers. Other than that, with the investigation going on, I really can't say anymore.
No. What would you like to happen now?
With us, you know, we don't know what options we do have. You know, so we're seeking out if there's any way someone can, you know, come to us, and we literally don't know where we can go from here, but we just, you know, we know that, you know, they sent the robot down, and I trust that was correct. But just as a family, we want actually somebody to go and...
you know,
well, you've been given...
able to go down and just have a last look.
A proper look.
A proper look. Just, you know, I know the conditions aren't brilliant. I know it's such a dangerous sea, but just so that we know ourselves that we have had that last...
So let's be clear. You're not asking for the wreckage of the aircraft to be brought up, because experts are saying that's pretty much impossible, given the conditions that you mentioned. But the one body has been brought to the surface, and there'll be a funeral, and you want the same privilege if it's possible. And you've been told that process, if successful, would cost about £300,000. And I've just been told that your fund has now reached 140 after just a few days, so you're almost halfway there. Tell us just why it's so important to recover the person that's lost. Psychologically, why is it so important to you to have him back, to give him a proper funeral?
For our family unit to be back.
Yes.
You know, so we can go and visit him.
Yeah.
You know, and just to know that he's there.
What was he like? What was your dad?
Oh, it was amazing. I was so lucky to, you know, have him as a dad. He wouldn't just give you a hug, he'd, like, lift you off the floor, you know, because he just said he loved us, you know, all so much.
And I suppose there's a feeling from your perspective of not giving up on him.
Oh, yeah, no. he wouldn't...
Give up on you, is what you've said, so you wouldn't give up on him?
No.
Yeah, and I know it might take a long time, but I just don't want this just to be it, you know. I'm not sure if, you know, we can search, you know, the coastal areas. I don't know if it's to do that again, because they've said he could come up and, you know, like, wash, you know.
Yes.
Have you tried to contact Emiliano Sala's family? Because there's two families in a terrible state here, aren't there?
There is, yeah. No, we haven't tried to contact them because we know that they're grieving the same as us. And we've always thought about them, you know, in our prayers, and I've always said, you know, as a mother, I couldn't imagine what she's going through, you know, and, you know, I would just say my deepest condolences to them, you know, but without that funding they did,
we wouldn't
have had the plane.
You're doing the same. No. And I agree, as human beings, you deserve exactly the same privilege that they had. Just one last question here. Having a husband and a father who's a pilot, as well as a husband and a father, does that add just a slightly extra worm of worry when they're working, in a way you wouldn't worry so much perhaps if he was a driver, if he was driving a lorry? Is there an extra fear?
It wasn't his work, it was his hobby. It was his passion.
Were you surprised that he had that job then, considering, you know...
No, he wasn't aware even, you know, obviously who was in the back.
Who he was
flying. He was flying. He was on
he was flying, taking any opportunity to, you know, with flying hours and, you know, to do his flying.
And he didn't have any particular concerns going off on the trip that he expressed to you?
No, not at all. I rung him in the afternoon at 2:30, and he was making his way back to the aircraft. He was just, like, you know, just waiting for time, you know, to say, I'm going to take a walk.
Yes.
It was quite a walk from where he was staying to the aeroplane, and he says, I'll be back late on. So I just said, right, I'll leave the key out the door and I'll leave the porch light on.
Well, listen, we pray with all our hearts that they find him.
Thank you.
And that they bring him back to you, and that you find peace.
Thank you.
And I think you're both incredibly brave.
Thank you very much.
And good luck with dealing with the day-to-day grinding hardness of it all.
Yeah.